Steph Curry is actually a nice guy, so when he dissed Kevin Durant recently, it wasn't on purpose. I don't want anyone to think that Steph was trying to throw shade at KD, but there's no way around it. What he said looks horrible for KD. On top of that, we aren't even sure why Steph said it. Then a few days later, Steph made sure everyone knows how much he likes and respects his ex-teammate. This video will explain what Steph said, but it's up to us to figure out why he said it. I want to know what you think, but we'll break down the only 3 options. So Steph was being interviewed by Sports Illustrated in one of these like fun little chats. He was promoting his new kids book. So he's not trying to make any headlines here. He was asked if he would choose both rings he won with KD or the one ring they just got in 2022. Normally he wouldn't even answer that question. If Steph was asked that by some serious reporter, he would have given like some BS non-answer. I think because it was in like a fun little segment, he let his guard down. Either way, he said this: would you rather have this ring taken away or the 2 you won in the Kevin Durant era? I want this one. Give me this one all day, every day. He doesn't even hold back. You don't find me ugly crying on the court for no reason. The first championship, you don't really know what you're doing. The next 2 were kind of validation for trying to remain champions. But after these last 3 years, winning that one was definitely the most special. And that makes sense. But who would take away 2 rings for 1? I get if they asked, would you swap this 1 ring for 1 KD ring, but 2? The worst way to interpret this is because 2022 was his finals MVP. Look, we're all human. Even Steph has an ego, so don't write this off. Remember what he said in the locker room after they just won.
What are they gonna say now? What are they gonna say now?
What are they gonna say now with a finals MVP for Steph? So yes, Steph might value his trophy over the team's 2 trophies, but I don't think so. I'll tell you what I think he meant later, but Steph is not a me guy. He's not gonna take away 2 banners from his team just for his little trophy. The other theory is Steph admits he knows how unfair it was for the rest of the league that the Warriors got Kevin Durant. Won 73 games, would have won the chip if Draymond doesn't kick LeBron in the nuts. Then they get the second best player alive. I'm not saying 2017 and 18 were fake chips, but this ain't the 2011 Dallas Mavericks. If Steph is admitting it wasn't fair, it is a huge hit on Kevin Durant's legacy. The whole world thinks that KD's chips have an asterisk, but now his best teammate also thinks that? That is horrible. Which is why I think Steph made sure to tell everyone how much he respects KD after that interview. He said to Rolling Stone, there was conversation internally about if he's available, would you trade for KD this summer? I was never hesitant. I had so much fun playing with him those 3 years. I'd be like, hell yeah. But then he had to admit that trading for KD would mean getting rid of his current teammates. Then you have to think, what does that actually mean? What does it look like? You tell me I'm playing with Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, and Draymond Green, but I've got complete confidence in my team that we can do it again as constructed. Translation, yeah, I would want Durant, but not if I have to trade my guys. The front office agrees with Steph. They never made an offer. Think about this. 3 finals, 2 chips with KD. Now 3 finals, 2 chips without KD. They don't need him. Steph said he would like to play with KD again. He's just being nice. KD was a luxury, not a necessity. But Steph might also value this last chip because it was his screw you championship. Kendrick Perkins had the guts to say this.
But to be honest with you, I don't see the Golden State Warriors bringing home another championship.
Y'all gonna sit on First Take. You and Dominique Foxworth are going to sit on First Take.
And it wasn't just Perk. No one thought they could do it. But let's be honest, 2017 through 19 was guaranteed the Warriors would make the finals and probably win. It would be a three-peat if KD doesn't get injured. Sorry, Raptors fans, but 2022 means more than both of those titles. I agree with Steph. Andrew Wiggins was his best teammate. If you told us that before the season, we would laugh. After After KD left, Steph and Klay got injured, and they had the worst record in the NBA in 2020. With that, they picked James Wiseman at number 2. The thinking was he'd be able to help them win the next chip, but he didn't even play. Then they lost the play-in to the Lakers in 2021, and even during last season, every expert was writing them off. Oh, even for a chance to win, they have to trade the young guys. James Wiseman, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga. I may have made a video or two about that. But they didn't do it. And it really shows what Steph has that KD doesn't. And it's more than chips. Steve Kerr explained it perfectly in an interview after the finals. First round against Denver, Steph was coming off that injury and we brought him off the bench. I go to him and I'm like, Steph, if you want to start, you're Steph Curry. You can start if you want. Steph was just like, we're playing great. Jordan Poole is in a great groove. Let's keep going with this. Then I remember the starting lineups were being called and I turned over to Steph and I was like, you know, Steph, if you work hard enough, someday you too can start in an NBA playoff game. He laughed, and then the next several days as he's practicing and working, he's like, look at me, coach. Look at how hard I'm working. I deserve this. I know I can do it. So that's Steph. What might be a serious issue to other star players, it turns into a complete joke for him. Steph, without a doubt, is the most humble star since Tim Duncan. Without that, he doesn't have more than one ring. He was willing to let KD come be the best player on his team. Who does that? Then when things were awful these last few years, Steph didn't demand a trade. So many stars would have said, forget this, I am out. There wasn't even a rumor that Steph wanted to trade. That is the complete opposite of Kevin Durant. I think KD is actually the better player, but the reason he doesn't have more chips is not having that Steph-like humility. He left the Dubs, then demanded the Nets hire a fake coach, then demanded they trade 3 good young players for James Harden. And the stupidest thing KD ever did was leave the Warriors to get his own team because he wanted to prove that he can be the man. Steph never has to prove that. He just is. I know this sounds like KD hate, but this is what Steph would never actually say. I'm just surprised he admitted that he would give up 2 KD rings for 1. Let me know why you think Steph actually admitted this, but I think it's a mix of how hard 2022 was and admitting the Durant chips were not as big of an achievement. But Steph Curry's entire career happened because of one injury that nobody talks about. So I was putting together the top 10 stupidest injuries in NBA history, and I kept seeing this one Warrior on lists like around the internet, and I read deeper and I was like, wait a second, that's actually the smartest dumb injury of all time. So instead of putting it in the top 10, I put it right after the top 10. Check it out.